One and welcome to the final round of the Positive Perception GT Championship at Misano, where the battles are heating up spectacularly. And I know you haven't probably heard my voice for a couple of rounds, and I apologize for that. But we're here now, and I'm joined by Adam Bent with me in the comms room as well. How are you this evening?
I'm well, thank you. Good evening.
Good. So at the they've been going through the practice, I think, aren't they?
Yeah, they've just gone into the briefing now, so.
So we've got a few minutes until the action starts for the qualifying.
Indeed.
So as I said, we are at Misano, and who do we need to be looking at for the results of the championship? I believe it's not sewn up, is it?
Well, we'll start with the GT4s. So GT4 League is pretty much wrapped up, I'm afraid, as far as standings go. Richard Pixley should take the title tonight, regardless of where Jake Mills finishes. Unfortunately, the way the points are scored, would mean it would be very, very unlikely for Jake Mills to be able to take the title away from Richard Pixley. So that seems to be all sewn up. However, there's a very close battle in third place between Mark Raddenbury and Anthony Brown, both on 147 points. Not too far behind Colin Dunn on 131. Sixth is Jamie Buchanan on 113, and we also have Mark Rogers and I believe Lisa Keane also joining us tonight. GT3 wise, we have a very, very close battle at the top, but we'll come back to that in a moment. We have the return of a few drivers. I believe most of the Pulse drivers are here tonight. Alistair Pollock changing cars and incurring the 50-point penalty for doing so. So if he is here tonight, he will be driving a McLaren instead of a Porsche. Meanwhile, at the top, we have three drivers who possibly can take away the title tonight. Simon Wilkes currently leading the championship on 159 points. 15 points behind is Ryan Rees on 144 points, and Matt Bentley. And just behind them was the championship leader 2 rounds ago, Remy Papon, on 140 points.
Fantastic. So it's all still very, very close. And we've seen in what I remember of the first couple of rounds, occasionally it's not sewn up. Even on the last lap of the race, there's instances of slower vehicles, so that could all change by the end of the hour, couldn't it?
Absolutely. Two mistakes from at Spa with drivers running out of fuel. Ryan Rees was going to take the lead of the title. We're only 15 minutes into an hour-long race. We didn't have enough fuel to actually the race on. We had to back off. Obviously, we've had few incidents with whole drivers where they've cost themselves a win. Miles again last week. Getting tangled up in the wrong drivers and incurring a loss himself to his teammate. So a lot of the drivers here tonight the final GT4 title they're still driving like they've had on a number of occasions, especially on the series organizer Mark and his friends. So yeah.
Definitely, they're all racing drivers at heart still, so they're all going to be vying for any position they can for the ending result. So you mentioned Spa as well, and then people running out of fuel. That was a no pit stop race,
Indeed,
and the Nürburgring they're only allowed for tyres, weren't they? But again tonight, Misano, no pit stops once again. So a full hour of racing, and what fuel they start with is what they'll have to carry through the 60 minutes.
Yeah,
I believe.
I believe they can stop if they need to for fuel. However, obviously you stop. The pit lane here is incredibly long, so a stop here will.
Oh, no mandatory pit stop then.
Sorry, no mandatory pit stop. However, obviously you do make a mistake, you got damage, you can still come in and repair, or obviously add fuel if you do run out. Obviously the front runners will have already done their calculations for tonight, maybe 2 or 3 days in advance. But one thing they can't predict is the weather. With the random weather factor, obviously for the next day, free practice obviously has been dry all the while. But yeah, it could be any number of possibilities for the race.
Fantastic. Would you be looking forward to a wet race if that came
I think
to it?
a wet race would be great, or more to the point, a damp race would be great with possibly a bit of rain at the start, and then as it gets dry and drier, then you do actually have to see that strategy of do people stay out on the dries and try and make it all the way around on a set of dries in an hour race where you, for the first 20-30 minutes maybe, are going to be sliding around. Or obviously you try and take the risk and take the stop. Obviously a lot of these drivers will be thinking about that while they drive, and obviously they'll wait and see what the qualifying weather and the race weather have in store for them.
That is certainly, I think, going to set apart the men from the boys if it starts to get a bit slidey. We start to see people, because the worn tyres of wet race is going to be interesting, isn't it?
Absolutely.
If it comes to that. Yes, fantastic. Cool. So they're still doing the second of the practices before starting the qualifying. So everyone's still in the briefing, I think, getting warmed up and things like that.
Yeah, it looks to me like the briefing should be over now. Just waiting for some of the drivers, just checking the data to see if anybody's out on a lap.
We have been joined by Mr. Raddenbury as well.
Good evening, good evening, good evening.
How are you this evening?
I'm good. So that's the first time we've managed to get the brief under 6 minutes.
Well done.
With timing. So not only are you timing yourself on track, you're timing the briefing as well.
I am indeed. I'm always timing. No, just, honestly, I've just had lots of thanks. My ego has expanded from everyone just thanking me for this series. Yeah, it's been a blast, this series. Absolute blast.
No, definitely.
Absolutely.
So currently I've let the guys go out on track, just experience the dusk.
Indeed.
The dusk of Misano.
Indeed.
It looks spectacular when you start getting these GT cars around in the lights as well.
What I love is when you've got somebody hard braking into a hairpin, and you just get that massive glow of the brake disc just building. It's just visually stunning.
So I want to ask you: is there any lessons you've learned from organising this season that you can carry forward into the next one, if there's a next one on the cards?
So that's something I've literally just touched on in the brief. So all our drivers from this series, they'll all have a Google form to fill in after the race or after qualifying, whichever one they want to do. Which will just give us an idea for next season. We've already had some ideas as an admin team. We want to keep doing it. We want to keep doing it multi-class. We have had ideas how to expand and do something completely different to anything else we've seen.
So still looking to sort of push the series and make it as spectacular as it's done. I mean, obviously we've done a fantastic job with the first season, so it's still looking to improve. Yeah, no, we're going to. The ideas we've had have been. I can't give too much away. You can't give us an exclusive.
I nearly did. Okay, go on. I'll give an exclusive. So, I'm sure there's going to be drivers racing right now who will be watching the stream back later, so they'll be the first to hear this. So we are looking at multi-class again, but we are also looking into a driver swap.
Oh.
Very much taking inspiration from the British GT Championship. So it will be short, sharp races with driver swaps happening. It's an idea that we hope people are going to go for. We did a test race at Nürburgring before the start of this season. We had something like 15 cars on the grid, so 30 drivers in total. So we're just hoping we can expand that, and I think it'll be a really, really interesting addition to the racing.
Because potentially you're then allowing for more drivers in the series for the same amount of cars, aren't you? So everyone gets some seat time, some battling times, and you've got the different. I would imagine pro-am skill level as well for certain series. That's certainly. I mean, I can already see that's going to make a massive difference to your admin task, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I don't do things easily.
No.
As anyone will tell you, I'm one of the hardest working people you'll meet. It's just an idea. We're hoping the guys go for it, and we shall see what happens. Let's just say, I've completely lost where the Google form is now that I had. I was gonna be sharing it.
You'll suddenly realise where it is when you start getting all these replies from other drivers.
There we go. Finally found it. But now we've got 30 seconds on the clock on mine, and then we'll be GT3 qualifying.
Indeed.
It will be.
I don't know if you guys have touched on it, but the interesting omission from today's race, we haven't got Johnny Seville.
Oh no, of course he's. If I remember rightly, he's actually qualifying in the SimGrid World Cup.
He is indeed. So
Best-
good luck to Johnny doing
Yeah,
that.
best of luck to him. But,
Commiserations for doing a lesser series. But we hope he'll be back with the rest of the Pulse team. We've got Miles, and we've got Ash Knight as well, the sister team.
Indeed.
Which I think it's been renamed. Yeah.
Interestingly, I'm just looking at the timings now. Obviously, this is only practice, so there we go. I was about to say Amin Daraju was at the top for a decent while then. Obviously, Remy has now come across the line and set a lap that's blisteringly quick. But yeah, at one point there was a Porsche on the top, which is I believe the first time we've ever seen a Porsche on the top of a session. So yeah.
I think Papin just couldn't let that go, could it?
Oh, of course not. No, I mean, of the caliber of driver he is. I mean, he's just qualified for AOR Tier 1, and again a lesser series, of course, but a very high profile series, I suppose.
Ooh.
And it's wet. It is wet.
We have a wet. Oh.
We kind of called it. Oh, no, this is qualifying, isn't it? So
it's not wet though. It's light rain, and it's minus on the light rain, so it will get drier. Interesting. I now have no idea what setup to use. I have I've got a dry and a wet. Yeah, no, so greasy conditions. Could be slicks.
That looks like Ash is going out on slicks. So as we watch the drivers now filter out.
So they've got to basically tiptoe in the wet for possibly 5-10 minutes until it's.
Yeah, I mean, if this was me, I'd be doing a couple of laps. Just 1 or 2 laps with with the dry tires on, and just seeing how the car felt. Seeing if it was sliding around in the corners. And then if you had time, you'd drop back in and get the other set of tires on and do a blast as well.
A bit of a sighting lap then for the coming race, if that's a similar weather.
I would say so. Yeah, yeah. That's how I do it.
Should be interesting, shouldn't it?
Oh no, there he is. I was panicking then. I couldn't find Mr. Wilkes, but he is there. I was about to say it would be very interesting to not see him here in the championship he's leading, but yeah, obviously only 16 GT3s this time round.
Yeah, we've lost a couple, mainly because of other commitments happening, and it is the summer holidays.
Indeed, but still a huge grid for
a whopping grid.
Indeed. As you can see,
and then
everybody's
with the GT4s as well, isn't it? So.
Indeed. But yeah, we're watching now the championship leader as he goes round on his outlap. It's a fairly long lap here at Misano. Obviously, very, very fast section coming up. Obviously, pretty much flat through the entire part of it. But yeah, as he come back onto the main straight now, yeah, to set their laps or start.
He's not taking much curb there.
Indeed,
I would say that's a very wet inside corner. That was a very cautious entry.
But
Mr.
yeah,
Knight there being one of the last to exit the pits in the Porsche.
Let's see if we can find him. There he is.
People trying to dive out the way as well.
Indeed. But,
bit of a wobble.
So I would imagine he's on dry tyres as well then.
Yeah, knowing Ash, he'll be on the dry tyres.
Now, one car that I know is good in the wet and with obviously an adverse setup is probably the Bentleys. I think the Bentleys are a dark horse in this qualifying then. Obviously, hopefully, we can see some maybe an upset of sorts so that the championship leaders have something to fight against.
I mean, they are jokingly known as the Boatleys out there in ACC land. They do seem to do very well in the wet.
But yeah, so we'll wait and see how it goes. But good evening to everybody in the stream, obviously. You join us as we are 6 minutes 40 away from GT4 qualifying. We're still in GT3 qualifying, obviously, but yeah, as we wait for people to start setting their laps, there we go. Remy on the first time on the board at 1:46.
Immediately pulls over as well, so he must be changing tyres.
There goes his teammate, Stephen Carey. And there's Mark Raddenbury.
I am waving from that car.
Let's look for... Ash Coupland's gone top in the Aston Martin. And Simon Wilkes then surpasses him. So everybody within 4/10.
There you go.
Everybody within 4/10 already. So dry tyres are obviously retired to go on.
Mr. Baldwin nearly 3 seconds off the pace.
Oof, that's a long way. Oh, I don't know if Simon just went over the marker then to scrub that lap. It looks like there's a dry patch appearing.
It does look like there's a dry line, but unfortunately with the stream it doesn't seem to be able to pick up the spray just as much as I think it should. But yeah, I mean, beautiful cars as always, I've got to say. Like, most deliveries in this series have been beyond beautiful. But yeah, if you had to pick one, and not your own, if you had to pick one from the external, you know, I knew where you were going. I knew it.
You knew. Well, I have a lot of respect for the two other designers who've done work on some of these cars. The one you see at the moment, Simon Wilkes, that was done by Mr. Hinden, Esports Designs. I know that there's a Justin Wellbeloved livery in there somewhere.
I believe that'll be the Pulse liveries.
That'll be the Pulse. There we go. Yep.
So we have Kiki Mac with the
yes,
questionable
the Godzilla baguette. Now I'm actually going to pick one that. Oh no, he's not using it tonight. I was going to pick Rob Jackson's.
Yeah.
The one he was running before, the Castrol one. But unfortunately, he paid me money, so I made that beaut for him.
Indeed, I've got to admit the Castrol one was very nice.
Yeah, but if it's in terms of cars on track, right here, right now, it's going to be the Kiki Mac Celtic Bromance
Lexus.
The main Lexus. Yeah, it's going to be. To me, it just screams racing car. You know, it's such a visible livery. You can see it coming a mile off. It's
very on brand for them as well.
It's fantastic. Indeed. It needs to be on a real car.
It does indeed. I think it's a tribute back to their early VTCC days, but by no means is it ugly. And you know, it's a great livery. The chrome just brings it out even more, I think.
It really does. Chrome's such a hard texture to get right.
Indeed.
In an ACC, and Kiki's just absolutely nailed it with that livery. It looks fantastic.
I've just noticed that Callum McGough seems to be a rainmaster at the moment. Second place in the wet.
Wow.
So
Ash Coupland, though, half a second up.
Incredible lap by him. But interestingly, our championship protagonists, 3, 4, and 8th. So it's very interesting.
Miles Dixon. Miles down there, 3 seconds off the pace. That's very unusual.
Indeed.
To see Miles that far back. A couple of drivers not set a time either. They're in danger of starting behind the GT4 pack.
Which, as we saw at Spa, was very interesting to say the least.
Yes. We don't talk about Spa, thank you.
But yeah, I mean, I believe that Kiki even did the livery for the McLaren that Cal McGough's running.
Yes, he did. I mean, the Golf livery is a classic.
It's a classic, and I think it's also a tribute to the older F1 liveries. But Simon Wilkes now obviously trying to reassert his dominance at the top. He's been very dominant pretty much most of this series. Obviously had the advantage there when Remy got himself excluded from a round. But obviously you still have to finish. Obviously to come first, you still got to finish. So
yeah, he's definitely got 2 more laps in him. From where he is now. He should have enough time.
Indeed.
But I don't know what tyres to go on. I don't know if I run slicks or if I run wets.
Well, whatever it is, I wish you best of luck, buddy.
Thank you. I'm going to jump off now. But
okay, take care.
Enjoy the stream. Thank you to everyone who's watching.
Take care.
And yeah, enjoy.
Good luck for the race.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So as we can see, some of the drivers have done 4 laps. So we've got Remy, Ash, and Simon all on 4 laps. Alistair and JP starting their 4th. We've got a few on 3. Alistair's in the pits with 3 laps. But yeah, so we've still got 4 drivers yet to set a lap.
which it's going to be interesting. So that's what was that? That Phillips,
Draghi,
Kiki,
Kiki
one of them
Mack.
as well. Yeah.
That's quite a big surprise, to be fair. I mean, I think this lap is invalid by looking at it. Yes, it is, I think. It's a 2:01 at the moment, so whatever it is, it's not very fast. Looking at the other now, Carey, if we can find him, as he's already set a lap in 6th, so one lap, he's jumped up to 6th place, so very good by him. But Callum McGough, the big upset there, in the middle of most of the championship challenges, whereas Remy on track, he is coming up to the last corner, I believe. So can Remy? No, Oh no, he does pull off. I thought he was pulling off then. So can he improve? I'm looking at the timing sheet now. His last opportunity to, and he does not improve.
Oh. So probably a little upset for all of them, isn't it? Mr. Wilkes, though, taking pole position for the moment off of Coupland.
Indeed. So we're just watching now. I'm just watching the timing sheets now to see where everybody is on their laps. Cal seems to be finishing up his lap now. We have somebody. So Phillips should pull off of his lap, I believe. I think he may have exceeded the time, but Cal seems to look like he's going to improve. Does he improve? He does. Goes up to 3rd.
Does, yes.
Ash Coupland is also on a good lap as well, though. He is improving. The difference is green currently, so let's see if he does improve as he comes through the final turn.
Very cautious with his last turn.
Indeed it was. But is it fast enough? No, it's not fast enough for pole. So Simon Wilkes still on pole. Remy Papin
did improve, but yes, no, didn't manage to
still
finish
on
that.
a lap, I believe. So he is still allowed to complete this lap because he did cross the line with 10 minutes, just over 10 minutes to go. So he should be allowed to finish this lap. It's looking likely that he'll start 4th if he can finish this lap.
You see one about Papin.
But Kiki Mack not setting a lap.
Is he the only one, was he?
Only one to not set a lap.
No.
Miles Dixon up to 4th. So Kiki Mack will start from the back of the grid, or at least the very back of wherever his pack goes. Remy Papin up to 3rd.
He does indeed. The last ditch effort you could possibly have. And brings himself back up to the 2nd row.
So, with GT3 qualifying done, your drivers will be, as we jump forward to the outlaps of the drivers, we have Simon Wilkes on the pole, Ashley Coupland 2nd, Remy Papin 3rd, Miles Dixon 4th, Callum McGough 5th, Amin Daraju 6th, Stephen Carey 7th, Alistair Baldwin 8th, 9th Rob Jackson, and 10th Ryan Rees. So our 3 championship challengers are split by one driver at the front, and then another 6 drivers between Remy Papin and his closest challenger, Ryan Rees. JP McKinley 11th, Ash Knight 12th, Peter Phillips 13th, Alistair Pollock 14th, Arnaud Stricher 15th, and Kiki Mack will start from the back of the grid. So as we watch, so interestingly, I think most of these guys are on dry. Obviously, we're now following the only female in the series, Lisa Keane. But
so did they basically copy the GT3s, do you reckon? Oh, there's a Maserati. Someone picked the Maserati.
Absolutely. Tom O'Farrell did pick the Maserati, and the noise it makes is unbelievable. I mean, you have to be mad to drive it in the wet, and I'm sure he's reeling at the fact it's in the wet. But it's an absolutely beautiful car, I've got to admit. And Tom's piloted it very, very well. I think he's a good driver. And, the opportunity presides itself here to put it on a decent position. But most importantly is Pixley, who has pretty much sewn up the title with a round to spare. This round obviously being the round that he now doesn't really have to worry about where he finishes, only that he does finish.
That is fairly important. But what do we have? We have Mark Raddenbury and Anthony Brown joined 3rd place.
Yes,
so they're going to be battling for their the final spot on the
bronze medal, as it were.
But,
obviously Mark, the series leader, not had a great few rounds. I mean, a couple rounds where he's had his fair share of bad luck, as Alex McGee puts the first time on the board. Obviously, it's very unfortunate for him, but he'll know that the next series he's definitely got a better opportunity, and the big German BMW is a bit of a handful. So Jake Mills now jumping to the top, 2/10 quicker than Alex McGee. So Alex McGee in the Vulcan Esports car, still putting a decently way up. So I believe Nathan Yates' livery is finally worked. No, we still have no Nathan Yates livery. It's really unfortunate. But yeah, so 11 GT4 drivers, which is still going to be quite a lot of traffic for the GT3s. Obviously, they've been warned tonight about their obviously encroachable behaviour towards the GT4s and their aggression. But we'll wait and see how that pans out across the race. Most notably, obviously, Kiki Mack needing to try and find his way through 11 cars to even get to the back of his pack.
And then try and bridge the gap after that.
And obviously, yeah, bridge the gap between that he loses fighting these cars. Because obviously, they shouldn't fight him too hard. But they are still fighting for a position, which means that they can defend. They can fight him.
They can indeed. I've not seen... They all still seem to be on dry tyres.
I can't really see whether they're on wets or not. I don't know the difference, unfortunately. I know that my session data is wrong here. It's saying it's sunny when it's very much not. But yeah, obviously I'm looking now at the track temperatures, and they're still really cold, so those tyres will be pumped quite high to combat that. I'm looking at times now. Jake Mills is on a fast lap. So is Alex McGee. He did go faster, up to second place. Nathan Yates is also on a fast lap. I'm looking now. We've got Mark Raddenberry in the pits. So for whatever reason, he's gone back.
Yeah, still half the grid left to put a time on.
There we go.
Mr. Dunn, you can see weaving in the background, did come into the pits, I think, possibly to change tyres.
I think he may have come in for tyres, but I think that may be a lap invalidation for Nathan Yates there.
Really?
Yeah. Unfortunately, the track limits in qualifying are very stringent, as opposed to... Oh, Pixley to the top now. Jake Mills comes across the line. Not fast enough, I don't think. Where is he? There he is. Nope, we're halfway through the lap, so he's now coming up to what looks like Jamie Buchanan in what Toby likes to describe as the mystery machine. I think it looks more like a old spoon car. Obviously, differing opinions. I'd say there's differing opinions there, but
yeah,
very bright. It's very, very bright, and I think it does almost hark back to the old spoon Honda days. Obviously, very, very bright yellows and blues used in those cars, and you can see just how amazing and how diverse the grid is with a Mercedes, an Aston Martin, a Porsche, BMW, all in the same spot. And obviously we have got a Maserati hidden somewhere, and a McLaren. Obviously the Ginetta, unfortunately, is retired by myself. So
yes, you were the only Ginetta competitor, I think, weren't you, before?
Indeed, I was.
Up the commentary mantle.
Indeed, I was, and I will do so again.
Did you try any of the other chassis, or what was it about the Ginetta that you were drawn to?
The Ginetta is just a great car, I think. It's a very underappreciated car, and when it's piloted well, or piloted right, you know, all of a sudden you're going to find yourself much, much quicker. Pixley up to 16th. So, obviously that's the top of the... I believe that's the top of GT4, but yeah, so the trading... looks like the trading times at the top. Jake Mills is just starting a lap now, so his last lap was 12 seconds slower. So for whatever reason, he must have damaged or bailed out of his lap, but he's only going to have a couple more attempts at this.
Interestingly enough, I've just seen Mr. Seville sneak in the background of the server, so he's going to join Kiki Mack.
Oh, he's managed to join at the back of the grid. So
so
somehow
there's going to be 2 cars at the back.
So somehow he's managed to make it in qualifying. Obviously, Mark's been nice enough to let him in, I believe. But yeah, the Pulse driver has made it in. But he's going to have a lot of work to do. The winner last time out, no less. So where is Jake Mills? Is he on a fast lap? He is. Can he hold it off to complete the lap? That's the question. He's flashing Lisa Keane in front of him. Obviously hoping that it doesn't impede his lap too much, as Lisa's gone miles off there. straight into the gravel at, I'm not sure what turn it is, but quite far off there. But no, quite interestingly is that all these drivers have, had their standout moments for sure, but none more so than Jake, who came into the series a round down and almost took the championship away. And that's an invalidation, definitely, unfortunately. So he's now going to have to put it all on the last lap. It's going to be an all or nothing by Jake Mills here.
So will actually Mr. Roddenberry, who's not set a time yet. I stand
there
corrected.
you go. You stand corrected. So it is
bang in the middle of the grid.
There you go. Sat with Jamie Buchanan, but Anthony Brown is much further ahead of him. So he's definitely going to have to try as hard as he can to catch that gap. But yeah. How about, so what's been your standout moment from your commentary time this season then?
I think the first round, was the first couple of laps, despite its was madness, was very entertaining. And unfortunately, due to other commitments, I wasn't able to continue for some of the rounds, which I did, by the sounds of it, massively miss out on. But yeah, when everyone watching the multi-class racing and everyone sort of get their teeth into it was very entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's been very entertaining the past few rounds. As the qualifying's ended now, so whatever lap they stick in here is going to be the lap. So most notably, we want to watch Jake Mills. We want to see whether he's got the pace to surpass his adversary for this entire series, Richard Pixley, for the win.
Anthony Brown sitting in third on the second row on the grid.
Indeed. So we've got 4 drivers there who are improving on their times. Obviously, Nathan Yates has finished, so he will not progress any further than 8th place. However, Lee Ward behind him is actually going faster. That looked like it was within the limits. We'll find out in a second, but it looked within limits.
So look for any sort of dry grip he can out there, I think
he's
rain does seem to be coming down a little bit more, doesn't it?
It does indeed. I think it's just a little bit progressively wetter there. But as he comes across, it's looking positive. The time still says positive for me. He comes across the line. That is a blistering time. I think it is just enough for the pole. Tom O'Farrell is the only driver that at the moment who could possibly take him. James Buchanan will progress no further. So it's Tom O'Farrell to potentially surpass Jake Mills here as he comes through the final turn. Has he got enough in that Maserati? No, I think that's it.
No. It stepped out, it misbehaved, and now it's that he will start in the mid-pack.
But no, it's great qualifying from everybody. And once again, such a great grid. 28 drivers, which is, by no mean feat. So, yeah. Jonathan Seville in the comments, last to first challenge. I'd love to see it, Jonathan. Let's see it. Show us how it's done then.
The gauntlet has been thrown. I think Mr. Mac could be looking if they can work together and slipstream each other and all the rest of it and keep in contact, and certainly it's possible. That is a packed grid. Look at that.
So as we wait for everybody to drop onto the grid, we'll run through them one by one, I guess, unless you'd like to.
I certainly can. Let's if I can I click on my screen and change it? I cannot. You may have to do that for me.
No worries. Let's try and find a better camera. Nope, there's not much better cameras than that, unfortunately. But
this is the slight bane of ACC.
Yeah.
The actual grid cameras aren't fantastic, but there we are. Once it gets racing, it's
no
good.
worries. But yeah, on the pole we have Simon Wilkes, championship leader. Next to him, Ash Coupland in the Aston Martin. So 2 Aston Martins on the front row. Obviously, we'll never see that in Formula 1, but GT racing, it's more than likely to happen. 3rd place is the French Godzilla, Remy Papin, and obviously hoping to overtake that driver right in front of him, Simon Wilkes. 4th place is Miles Dixon in the Bentley, an impressive showing still, obviously, despite, I believe, only setting 1 or 2 laps. Callum McGough 5th, again, by no mean feat, brilliant job by him. For most of the qualifying, sat in 2nd place, just pipped at the end. Amin Daraghiu, amazing qualifying by him. Actually started at the back of the grid after not setting a lap at Spa, and I believe started last of the qualifiers in the last round at the Nürburgring. Is up in 6th place, so a brilliant job by him. Stefan Carey, the German, in the number 1 car in 7th place. Alistair Baldwin, Happy Al, in the Bentley, covered in Isle of Man flags. Very pretty car indeed. Rob Jackson in 9th place in the Martini Aston Martin. 10th place is the Hololive Bentley, driven by Ryan Rees, which is a very interesting livery to say the least. Maybe sponsored by some of those VTubers as such. JP McKinley in the Celtic Bromance car, a very, very pretty car, and lovely driver, all the same, in 11th place. 12th place, we have Ash Knight in the Slipstream Racing Porsche, one of my favourite liveries, I think. Very, very, very pretty. The white, the blue, and the red just working so nicely in 12th place. So 13th place, we have Peter Phillips. I believe it's a Benetton, a Jordan-inspired livery, harking from the days of once great Michael Schumacher. Alistair Pollock in his first race in the McLaren in this series, driving a Porsche for most of the series, qualifying in 14th place. Arnar Stricher in the AF Corsa Ferrari in 15th. And that will round out our GT3 qualifiers. On the pole in GT4, we have Jake Mills. Once again, brilliant job by him to put it on the front row. More impressively on pole, I believe, for the first time. Richard Pixley, his championship rival and the championship elect, in 2nd place and 17th place on the grid. 3rd place, we have Anthony Brown in his Aston Martin. Not far behind him is Alex McGee in the other Aston Martin. Again, great qualifying by him. Tomo Farrell, 5th place in the Maserati. Once again, a great job by him. Jamie Buchanan in 6th place in the Spoon Scooby Mystery Machine, whatever we want to call it. BMW. Right next to him, Mark Raddenbury in 22nd and I believe 8th or 6th. I'm not sure. At this point, I've lost track slightly. 23rd place is Nathan Yates. And that beautiful black Aston Martin. Unfortunately, we didn't get his livery fixed in time. We will definitely try and get it done for Season 2. Lee Ward in the other Aston Martin in 24th place. Lisa Keane in the beautiful sky blue and pink Mercedes AMG. And rounding out the GT4 drivers is Colin Dunn in the McLaren. Again, such a beautiful car in the Dunn Motorsport colours. The 2 non-qualifiers, and starting at the back of the grid, are Kiki Mack and Jonathan Seville. So with 46 seconds, what are your predictions, Mr. McRae?
Oh, I know never to set the predictions. They're normally always wrong as well. You think Simon Wilkes could probably take it from flag to finish, but who knows? Literally, with an hour's racing, anything can happen. So I'm keeping you stum on this one. I'm not making any predictions.
Well, if I can predict one thing, it's that it's going to be a great race. It's only a greasy track, so it's not fully wet. So it's going to be very interesting to see what strategies these drivers are going to opt for. It says it's going to rain for most of the race, so once again, we could have a possible pit stop at some point for anybody that tries the dry tyres. But I think you'd be a bit foolish to try the dries with half an hour's worth of rain. So as we wait for everybody to fire their engines up as we get set to go on the outlap.
On the formation lap, so they've got a very limited chance to really warm the tyres up.
Indeed.
Before they get going. I think everyone's going to be nervous for this one, aren't they?
I think if you aren't nervous, then obviously you're not doing it right.
We have a non-starter. Who's in the GT3 that's non-starter? Number 14.
Number 14. We're going to have a look quickly.
Mr. Pollock, I think that is.
No, he's started.
He's got going now, yes, but he's well down his grid placement. There are several cars that got past him.
Possibly stalled, but he'll be able to drive his way back up. He'll be allowed to go retake his position. So, and the best thing is about this, it's ghosted, so he's not gonna cause too much trouble. So we'll just follow him. We might as well follow him as he carves his way back through the field as best he can, and tries to warm his tyres up at the same time. So he's got to find.
Oh, yes.
There we go. He's he's been dropped to 16th now, so I believe he's got to stay in this position. The server has dropped him to 16th, so I don't know whether he's now got to stay in this position or not. But he's caught back to the back of Arnar, so we'll wait and see what happens here. But yeah, like I say, very interesting to see that there's already a GT3 officially in front of a GT4 in front of a GT3. I beg your pardon. So yeah, very interesting.
So yeah, he's been definitely been put out of place from where he was before. So yes, if we may look at the front of the grid where Mr. Wilkes, I'm not sure where he is at the moment.
They are coming down the long straight, I believe.
They are indeed. So they've got a fair way to go. Do we have someone in the pit still? Do I spy someone on the map that's still in the pit? At the back?
Doesn't look it. I think everybody is out on the track.
Fair enough. It does like to fool me a little bit on the circuit, but there we are. So Mr. Wilkes, they're going to be starting to form themselves up. Nice big long straight to try and do so. A couple of little curves, and he's going to have to hold the pace until the lights go green, and we'll begin the race. But he's going to want to get the jump on his nearest competitor. Hopefully, they've got the tyres up to temp.
Well, there's only one way to find out because they're coming around the final few corners.
It is. It's going to be a very, very heavy braking zone into the right-hander at turn 1.
Indeed, there's going to be a lot of stacking, and the GT4 drivers are going to see this as a massive opportunity to stick to the back. So most interesting, obviously, there's not a big gap between these drivers on this circuit, especially between these cars as they come around the final corner. Now, there's the lights. So we wait to see if the lights go green as they come towards the start.
They're still holding red for the drivers.
It's green light. 2 drive-throughs immediately. Tom O'Farrell and Alistair Pollock getting 2 drive-throughs immediately for, I believe, for being out of position at the start. So first turn, everybody seems to get through all right. It looks like Romy Papon has tried to make the move immediately on the back of Miles Dixon.
Miles Dixon under pressure already.
So immediately he's lost the position. It looks like everybody's got through cleanly.
So Dixon up into 4th. He's already putting a massive amount of pressure on the back of the GTR.
We've got a black and orange flag for someone. I'm not sure who it is, but I believe it's for the 2 drivers that haven't got their lights on. If they don't put those lights on soon, there we go. There's the lights. But they don't put their lights on soon. It was a penalty.
Moment for them. That was Dixon. It was one of them, I think.
We've got James Buchanan in the pits. James Buchanan has dropped to the pits. So for whatever reason, he's in the pit lane. There we go. Your eyes weren't deceiving you. James Buchanan did miss the start, and he's had to start from the pits. So he has got going now. But Simon Wilkes obviously leading the way, followed by Ash Coupland and Romy Papin. So Romy Papin needs to overtake this Aston Martin very quickly, and then focus on Simon Wilkes in front. Looking up the, maybe not just yet.
He couldn't quite get it done, could he?
No, but we're watching as Simon Wilkes will pull away. Because Ashley Coupland doesn't seem to be able to hold the pace the same way that Simon Wilkes is in this opening lap. But as we get progressively later into this evening, obviously it's going to get darker and darker, and eventually it should be fairly pitch black. But yeah, it's very interesting to note that Simon Wilkes has already pulled a massive gap to the drivers behind. 1.3 seconds already. Massive. It's a massive gap.
It was. Indeed. Dixon falling off the pace a little bit. Looked like he had a little bit of a trouble exiting the last corner. So Baldwin trying to reel him in 4th and 5th.
So interestingly, we've got Peter Phillips under a track. Is that Jonathan Seville? Jonathan Seville already on the 2nd lap is already working his way to 10th place. There is Tripp behind him, Ryan Rees. So Jonathan Seville has made his way all the way through this pack and straight onto the back.
I can't remember what it was. The first couple of races, I think something had happened, and he had to do a similar story and managed to get through very quickly. But you can see Kiki Max still down in 19th in track position after Seville just leaving him behind.
Indeed, but there we go. There's a move for 2nd place. Romy Papin is not letting go of this championship just yet. Is past Ashley Coupland. Is he going to be able to hold off that Aston Martin, though? Because Aston Martin is incredibly quick in the straight line with that Mercedes V8 power.
It is indeed. He's trying to hold on to that tail. Dropped back a little bit in the slipstream.
So, interestingly, now we've got to see whether Remy can actually close this gap to Simon Wilkes. Because Simon Wilkes is an incredibly quick driver, so we'll wait and see. But looking through now, we've got JP McKinley on the back of Peter Phillips as well as he goes wide and allows his teammate through.
He's not going to be happy with that, but I think he's going to big respect to letting him through very cleanly. But,
Indeed.
he's going to want to be racing as much as anyone else is.
So Sam Wilkes has made a mistake, I think, possibly, because it says, oh no, there we go, the gap now resets itself. At one point we had a pretty close battle there, but no, it's still 2.7 seconds as it progressively increases and decreases on the time sheets. So we're looking through time sheets now. We've got Happy Al fighting with Stephen Carey, Callum McGough, and what looks to be Rob Jackson. So we've got a four-way battle here for, I believe it's 5th place, being led by a McLaren, followed by a Bentley, followed by a Ferrari and an Aston Martin. And there is Jonathan Seville in the background in 9th place. He has made so many positions in these opening 2 laps. He is absolutely reeling in the competition.
Indeed, fantastic racing already. It's still a little bit of a gaggle there. I was just looking at the front of the pack a little bit more, and Mr. Coupland got a bit tangled up with Mr. Knight as he was exiting the pit, so that's opened up the gap from Coupland in 3rd to the GTR in 2nd.
Indeed, it has, unfortunately.
It's holding steady, that gap. So Mr. Wilkes really driving up the road, trying to get disappear into the sunset.
Indeed.
Setting early pace in the race.
We should probably have a quick nosy at our beautiful counterparts in the GT4 category. And there is our leader, Jake Mills. He's been chased by Amin Daragiu, so obviously I think Daragiu got the pit drive-through. But yeah, unfortunately for him, he's now got to fight his way back up. But Jake Mills seems to be disappearing in the sunset with this lead. Richard Pixley behind him not far. Anar Strusha just behind him as well, or Striker, I believe it is. I don't know how it's actually pronounced there. I do apologise.
I think it was Street. I think it's Streeter.
Yeah,
I think
I'm not quite sure.
You'll get used to it. You like,
yeah, I was gonna say yeah.
It's like this is not how you say my name.
Yeah, you get it.
You get everyone to provide voice notes of how to say it.
Yeah, I think for the next series, if every driver wants to send a little voice clip of their how they pronounce their name for just for us. But there we go. There's Jonathan Seville on the back of this train now. So it's been interesting to watch this gap just rapidly close. I mean, he's just an incredible driver. I mean, there's a reason he was doing the Sim Grid World Cup. Yeah, he's just caught straight up to the back. And yeah, this is very interesting now because he's now going to try and find his way through 4 drivers even, sorry, to make it to the next group, which is actually after these 4 drivers is his teammate.
So it's a good little gaggle of cars.
There we go. In fact, Callum is actually catching Miles Dixon. So, and I believe the 2 behind, Ash Knight and Peter Phillips, are also catching. So we could have a very big battle going on very soon. Remy seems to be closing the gap now between himself and Simon Wilkes, but we'll wait and see how that gap evolves.
0.2 of a second in the last sort of lap or so.
But yeah, obviously we see Miles Dixon here under pressure from 5 drivers behind him, so he's got to be very, very careful. You can see just behind that looks like
he's gone wide.
That looks like Stephen Carey has gone wide. We'll double check.
Seville's got past Jackson now.
So Carey is there. There is Seville. So yeah. Unfortunately for him, I think he just ran it a bit too deep there.
Ferrari against Ferrari. And Seville ticking off the cars as he goes. And we've got a spin. McGough spins.
Oh, no. Callum. Oh, that's really unfortunate.
Just him
looks like
it
looks like damage on the front of that McLaren too, which is
partial,
devastating.
Partial spin. That's that's looking a little bit sorry for itself now.
It is indeed, but there you go. The diffuser as well, looking a little bit past its prime there, but yeah, the gap has closed again by 0.2 seconds. So the look like we've got a crash behind. Oh, big crash behind. Miles Dixon around. I'm not quite sure what's just happened there, but whatever's happened there has closed the gap massively. We've got now that looks like Alistair Baldwin taking advantage of that in his car. So Jonathan Seville now up to 5th place. So through all of this, Jonathan Seville, the driver that started 28th,
he has just been handed positions now, hasn't he?
has got to 5th in 4 laps. And it's an incredible effort. You can't take anything away from the drive. He's held his nose, kept his nose clean throughout all those overtakes, and he's now at the position where he's pulling away.
Just an update on that gap between first and second. That's now down to 1.8. So that's nearly 0.8 of a second completely eroded from that gap between Wilkes and Papin. But as you said, Seville closing down Baldwin now. Kiki Mack, unfortunately, I think had to go through the pits as well for a reason. So he's now back at the back of the entire pack.
Interestingly, that's a lap car, if I'm not mistaken. Just in front. There it is. Oh, it's Lisa Keane with a lot of damage. So this could benefit. As yet, there we go. Simon Wilkes is now. There we go. There's the traffic now. So this traffic's going to be very, very pivotal to this fight. Because there's Kiki Mack in the background just there.
He is, yes.
Well, not Kiki Mack, even I believe it's actually JP McKinley.
JP McKinney, sorry, it's the other.
Calling it wrong.
The other counterpart.
Yeah.
No, because he was further up the grid, wasn't he? So he's now behind his teammate on the grid. So that's a great shame. What's happened to his race?
Indeed. If we jump on board, we might see some sort of telltale sign, whether it was a drive-through or just a big spin. Whatever it was, obviously really devastating because he's a great driver, and yeah, it's unfortunate to see him at the back. Callum McGough is fighting with Rob Jackson. Rob Jackson will take the place quite nicely. It looks like Cal's damage is just a bit too much for him to be able to defend properly. But he's still going nonetheless. If he goes any slower, I'd probably be able to get in a tractor and drive faster, but yeah. No, to be fair to him, he's a much faster driver than myself. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is, and I think he'll be devastated with that. So yeah, we'll wait and see how he gets on throughout the race. But Peter Phillips oh, he's fallen behind him again. I know, sorry, that was Rob Jackson, overtook him, but yeah, Peter Phillips is now catching him. Remy looks like he's taken a little bit of an advantage here. No, in fact, from all of it, Simon Wilkes is the one that's taken an advantage.
Yeah, he did suffer. Papin suffered being stuck behind the BMW for a couple of corners, and they got the Maserati in front of them. Once again,
the beautiful Maserati. I've got to admit, one of the best sounding cars. I'm not sure what engine is actually in it, but I definitely want one for my what's it called, Nissan Micra. Make that a little bit more interesting indeed. But,
no, I believe it's a sort of Ferrari derivative engine that's in that one. If it's still relatively close to the stock engine they use. Indeed,
it should be. Yes.
I have to say, one of the best sounding cars is the MC Stradale in race mode.
Indeed. Although I do love a flat six boxer engine. Porsches do just make a hell of a noise.
Yes, no, noise, yes, I'm sure. Although, yeah. I prefer the Maserati, but yeah, I agree with you.
But yeah, I don't think anything beats the days of the V10 screams of F1, though.
Oh, no. No, but that's a whole different realm.
But yeah, so as we watch, we're just over 10 minutes into the race. Just over 10 minutes into the race. Simon Wilkes, similar story here, just pulled away at the start and has been holding the lead fairly well. Remy has been closing it. We'll see what the gap is at the next split.
But I have to say, who's not having a good race is looking back at Mr. Coupland, who's now 10 seconds behind and having to battle with all the same cars as before. So he's having to go around the pass of BMW, around the Lexus, and has really got caught unawares by that. Seville dropping off a little bit, I think. But yeah, he's going to be obviously on the pace trying to close the gap. So Seville up into fourth.
So interesting, something's happened to Tripp. Tripp is now right at the back. Nathan Yates with a drive-through, so that'll be for track limits. That's unfortunate, but for whatever's happened to Ryan Rees, he's now at the back of the grid. Miles Dixon off and Ash Knight also, both ending their races early.
Are they? Have they?
Indeed.
I didn't see that. So Miles not happy with the conditions he was running in.
Indeed. If you would like I say, if he's still listening to the stream, he's welcome to drop into the interview room, and I'd happily have a word with him as we watch as the races go on. But yeah, so looking for a gap now. Here we go. Anthony Brown is chasing Pixley and Jake Mills, so those three are now in a little scrap of their own again. We've got Arnar Strusha still stuck behind them, so he's clearly been stuck behind them for a decent while now. Obviously he's not quite sure how to get around them.
We have a stationary JP McKinley on the circuit,
Oh,
unfortunately.
no.
I've seen he made contact with
Oh no.
Mr. Coupland. Coupland getting away with that, as we just see his teammate pass in there as well. But no, there was contact between the two, I think, as Coupland was trying to get round. But I have, again, Coupland is aggressive. I have seen him in practice as well with some aggressive overtakes. And
just trying to find him now on the thing, and can't see him.
Coupland,
yeah,
still in third.
There we go. There we go.
There we go.
So yeah, interesting then. So obviously, whatever he's done was a bit too aggressive. There's Jonathan Seville, so he's now already on the podium attack. In first 15 minutes of the race, he's managed to work his way up to a podium position, almost a podium position, which again is
nothing. There's no cars between them now, is there? And I don't think there is for. No, they've got massive space in front of them. So this is probably the biggest opportunity Seville might have to really close that gap before they hit the back of car number 6. Possibly.
Indeed.
6. Oh no, they won't hit. That's Papin actually further up the road. So.
Yeah. Next car is Remy Papin. We have, I think, where are our 3 GT3 protagonists? There they are. So Mark Roddenberry, unfortunately, isn't as close as he wanted to be with his counterpart here, but it still seems to me like the GT3 there is just having a bit of fun with his GT4 counterparts. Still stuck behind them, so for whatever reason just can't find a way past. There we go, he's going to start making his moves now. There's one. There's Alistair Pollock in the background as well. I saw him.
There was one, but he's still a little bit squiggly through that complex of corners, isn't he? So he's not settled.
There we go. He's run wide, and Rand's gone back through.
That car, is it?
So this could be This could be the first. This could be the first time we actually see an on-track battle last with GT3s and GT4s. So where's Simon Wilkes? We need to find where the leader is. There he is. He's actually not far behind our GT4 leaders. So
there's a lot of traffic as well. And
behind Mark Roddenberry.
Seville. Cooper and Seville are half a second as well.
Oh, there we go. Remy Papin is really caught up. So he's now going to possibly pull out. Oh my God, let's see where this goes.
There
we go. It looks like
side by side. They're not quite. You look. He's again.
Oh, got a spinner in front. Oh.
No, he didn't. Who spun there?
That was Alex McGee. So Remy Papin now goes round the outside, I believe. There we go. He's made the move around the outside. So Remy Papin now in the lead.
Seville up to third as well.
Jonathan Seville up to third. So I need to quickly do it. I need to get the calculator out for this.
It's all changed in the last lap.
We need to get the calculator out because this is incredibly close now.
Seville already pulling out a 2.3 second gap. So really, it's. I think Cooper's going to struggle massively to keep up there. But yes, Mr. Papin on lap 10 taking the lead of the race.
Remy Papin now taking the lead. So Jonathan Seville is now going to be chasing both of these drivers down. Obviously, Jonathan is out of the championship. So there's nothing he'll do that will affect this championship. But most importantly is the gap between the two drivers at the front now. Can, obviously, Remy, being the championship leader for most of the way, take advantage here and actually take the title? Obviously, he needs a massive push now from both Seville and Coupland to catch up, but it's not impossible. Obviously, we've seen it done before as they now catch to the back of the GT4 leaders. Simon Wilkes would be devastated with that, so whatever's happened there has seriously affected the standings. There we go, the glowing tailpipes or side pipes from the GTR. Just absolutely stunning in the night.
But Papin not clear.
Simon Wilkes looks maybe up the inside. No, but follows him through though. So they're now going to.
He has. He's hung onto that bumper, isn't he? As they meet the GT4 traffic once again.
Papan through on Pixley. Simon
Wilkes is
Wilkes on the inside. He's looking. He's looking. He's pushed him wide.
Tight. They've rubbed. The McLaren came off Cropper there.
That looked like Alistair Pollock. Still side by side as they come through towards the next, I believe it's a heavy brake zone. So Jake Mills now on the inside. I think he may affect this. No, Remy Papan now back on the inside. Where is Jake Mills? Jake Mills is he's gone wide. He's dived out the way.
In front of that.
He did not want to take part in that, but an incredible battle. Incredible battle by both of these drivers, staying fairly clean through most of it. Yeah, it's unbelievable. I love you love to see it, but you know, this is what we want to see. So
out of the Curva Tramonto, probably saying that right, down the main straight. There we go, bit of a start there. But yeah, the next. I've only got a few of the track names. I'm probably going to end up saying them all wrong, but there we are.
I don't know any, so you're doing better than I am. But
he's not. Yeah, Papin hasn't managed to open up the gap yet, and Will's still on his tail.
So yeah,
Will's still got something in the tank, isn't he?
Indeed, I think these two are very, very closely matched for pace. You know, both drivers are incredibly talented. Obviously, one Sim Sport, one AOR, but you know, the French Godzilla is fighting as hard as he can now to pull away, and more importantly, needs Jonathan Seville, who's only
that's tight between the two drivers at the front.
As I believe that was Anar Shisha spinning in front of Jonathan Seville, but fairly clean, and he got through all right. But yeah, obviously we're looking further back. We've got another battle developing between Carey and Alistair Baldwin. We will revisit the lead battle, don't worry, but we do need to focus on some of the other drivers as well. Obviously we've got, there we go, very, very tight there. We've got obviously a battle between himself and I believe it says Stephen Carey, but I think that's just the gap between him and another driver. Obviously we're looking a bit further back for Pixley battle with Jake Mills. They're still battling. There's Jonathan Seville. He's now making his way through the interesting traffic that is the GT3, GT4 sandwich. But is he going to try and make it past Jake Mills? No, he's not. He's going to pull in there. But he's got to be happy already with what he's done. But Remy seems to be actually extending a lead now. So they've done their first lap of crazy traffic. And now they're sort of just trying to settle into a rhythm again. As that looks like Simon Wilkes very wide. That's going to be a slowdown, I think, or obviously a track cut penalty. Unfortunately, we can't actually see them, I don't think.
No. But Wilkes really, you can see how much he's trying to hang on to the GTR. He saw the opportunity to win the traffic and doesn't want to let that go once again.
But yeah, it's incredible to see this battle now, because all of a sudden, you know, these two drivers that, you know, if they both run every round of the season, we'd have a titanic battle on our hands here. But it does still look like there's not enough points gap difference here for Remy to take it even with the win today. So it's really unfortunate. No, so we've got 5-point difference between first and second, and we've got a.
If they were to finish as they are.
If they were to finish as they are, Simon would take the championship. Remy needs 19 points. Sorry, 20-point deficit.
Oh, wow.
So, unfortunately, I don't think, even with this situation, he would need Simon to finish 13th.
Wow.
Which is looking very unlikely with the current situation.
It's unlikely, no, but we have seen crazier incidents as well.
Oh, absolutely, we have. But, yeah.
Stewards have had to turn a hand in, so... But I'm sure, like, Papin will be happy with the race win as a consolation prize.
I mean, I've known him for about about 6 months now, and I don't think any driver ever wants to have the consolation prize. But obviously, you know, such is life sometimes.
Seville's storming pace seems to slow down slightly. I think as the gap sort of held at around 10. beg your pardon, 13 seconds.
Yeah, it looks like it's sort of plateaued now. So I think this
Hmm.
is the three drivers that are equal on pace here. Obviously, it's harder to catch up when all of a sudden you're trying to catch people that are quick on the same pace.
Still greasy conditions, so it's not got any worse, I don't believe. Because they're still on dry tyres, I think, aren't they?
I believe so. If they've run wets, obviously, then I think it might be in better call to go for wets. Obviously, one of the drivers will probably help me out if they're listening to the stream, but yeah. The first challenge may well still be on. There's Lisa Keane now in front, so all of a sudden there's going to be the lap traffic effect again as Remy goes through safely. But does she stay in the way of Simon Wilkes? We watch. No,
She does not.
She does not. So
that one.
I suppose there's the other thing as well of obviously people have their friends in this race and it could potentially play into the hands of each driver. You know, one driver will get out of the way quicker than the other. Obviously, the Celtic Romance boys are probably going to dip out of the way quicker than, say, maybe if there's a Pulse driver in the way. They're obviously going to stand a little bit longer in front because they've got nothing riding on it. So, yeah, but I mean, Jake Mills up in 12th of 23, so he'll be happy with that. We've got Nathan Yates, who is out, Miles Dixon, who has retired, and Ash Knight that's retired as well. Nathan Yates, I believe, has just possibly even been disqualified for not doing his drive-through. I'm not sure. But out possibly means that, yeah, he's been caught up in a situation. But there's Callum McGough, so he's been into the pits to repair his car.
Good.
JP, I believe, has done the same, as he's now fighting, I think, with Alex McGee. So he's now fighting Alex McGee as, I believe, his teammate there, just in front of him. With Peter Phillips just passes now as Colin Dunn gets out of the way. Ooh, very, very close there by Alex McGee. He almost smacks into the side of the Lexus there.
Not ideal. You do need to be very careful with overtaking with fast and slow cars around you. The gap between Wilkes and Papin coming down slightly as Wilkes, I think, is trying to drive the gap smaller.
Indeed, he is. He's pushing as hard as he can. Both of them setting really close lap times. Remy slightly slower on the last lap, but overall he has the fastest lap of the two. I think Jonathan Seville has the fastest lap outright at 1:36.9. Looking through now, yeah, 1:36.9. So, you know, it's an incredible pace. He is actually still closing, if not by much, but lap by lap, he is actually closing the gap between himself and the two front runners. So, as we look here, there's Tripp being flashed by an Aston Martin for whatever reason. I think Jake is possibly fighting his friend here. It doesn't look like they're taking it very seriously at this current moment. But that's one thing I will say about the Celtic Romance boys. They do enjoy their racing.
So Mr. Mills with the Bentley behind him just streams on past.
Indeed. We've got a few drivers on current personal bests, I believe. Remy is still chasing. There's Tom O'Farrell in front with Jamie Buchanan. So that'll be down in 24th. There they are. That beautiful Maserati glistening in the night light. As we are almost half an hour in now. So is this how you predicted the race to go?
Oh, God, no. Who knew that Seville was going to be where he was at this point?
I mean, I'd imagined him to be here about half an hour in, but not as quick as he did. So
more traffic coming up for, as you said, for Papin and Wilkes. As they're two abreast, slightly blocking.
Oh, there we go. There's a little bit more traffic now to play with. As Remy's actually taken advantage there and pulled away a little bit. Let's see whether Simon's going to appear. There he is. So
Gets through unscathed.
Gets through unscathed, just about.
I did think for a moment that Coupland and Baldwin were going to see them battling away, but Coupland got his head down and opened up the gap again to the Bentley behind him.
Indeed.
Who's just gone to the pits? Lisa Keane now back in the pits.
Yeah, that Mercedes looking a little bit worse for wear.
Yes.
We've got a gap.
Which is a shame.
Yeah, it's a big shame. We've got a gap between Alex McGee and Colin Dunn. So Colin Dunn now trying to fight with Alex McGee. And there's Callum McGough just in the background, so he's actually also fighting the same drivers. So it's a McLaren versus a McLaren, 570 versus 720. But yeah, obviously I think we know which one should, in theory, come out on top in this battle.
Oh, I don't know. Street Show, unfortunately, the Ferrari that's arguably meant to be a quicker car, McGough as well, falling behind some of the GT4s, as you said. So they're not happy in the wet.
Obviously, it's individual incidents as well. Obviously,
yes.
Things like netcode come into play a little bit, and can affect the driver. Remy has actually, I think, expanded the gap quite massively. Yes, he has. So somewhere Simon's made a mistake, and that's going to allow Jonathan Seville, who just decided to plough the grass in his Ferrari tractor. Yeah.
But no, I think Wilkes was sort of caught off guard. I think a little bit with the two battling GT4 cars.
Ashley Coupland, there he is. Alistair Baldwin. Got what looks like Alistair Pollock behind him. Halfway through, says the race engineer. Stephen Carey in 6th. Rob Jackson in 7th. The beautiful Martini car coming through the final turn now. Kiki Matt 8th. As it looks like Anthony Brown and Pixley have both made it past Mills. So for whatever reason, Mills has dropped back, whether he's had an accident or obviously just been overtaken on pace. But it doesn't look like that according to the timing sheet anyway. Peter Phillips in 9th, also behind this train of GT4s as Pixley does lose the back end a little bit.
Big diving manoeuvre.
That looked, where's Pixley gone? I'm waiting to see if they all emerge. JP McKinley getting caught behind the GT4 there that flung offline. Amin Daragyu made his way back up to 10th. Impressive. Definitely impressive. Alistair Pollock in 11th. So he's doing pretty well himself there in the 720. Ryan Rees.
Ryan Rees down in 12th place before you start to see the GT4s.
Indeed. So Anthony Brown now leading the GT4s. Richard Pixley just behind him. So whatever's happened to Jake Mills, he is 16th, so he's not far off them. But in between them is a Lexus of the Celtic Bromance variety. Jake Mills in 3rd now, so obviously the title just slipping away that even more as Anthony Brown looks set to now take off from here. Mark Raddenbury in 4th place, he'll be happy with that still. Obviously he'll be hoping for a better result soon enough, but there's Callum McGough making his way through. Lee Ward in, I believe it'll be 19th when we update. There we go, 19th. Alex McGee just behind them. Behind his car is Colin Dunn, and there's the leaders. So the leaders now catching up again. So they'll overtake them another 2 times, I believe, before this race is over. And all of a sudden, they've now got to worry about the lap traffic again.
Lisa King's still in the pits as well, unfortunately. Still holding on. There must have been a fair amount of repairs there to do.
Yeah, I imagine it's an engine damage, but engine.
Yeah.
So
as well, Brown if Mark Brown finishes where he is, that's obviously going to give him the massive advantage over Mark Raddenbury for that 3rd spot in the championship as well.
Indeed, Anthony Brown is going to obviously definitely take the title of best runner-up, so to speak. But, yeah, well, best runner-up to the front too, I believe. Anyway, yeah, so he'll be happy with that. He won't be too. There's Amin Daragyu in the middle of the track there. Luckily, it isn't collected, but Arnar is in 22nd. Let's find out where that Ferrari is. Ferrari looking a bit more like a Massey Ferguson with the amount of damage possibly in the fields a couple times. But yeah, definitely looking a bit more like a tractor again, obviously with a damaged front. But yeah, obviously not too bad still. I think maybe a bit of
Still
handful.
drivable by the looks of it, yeah.
Yeah,
Doing too
I
badly.
mean, it'll buff out. But Jamie Buchanan
With a
in,
teacup.
yeah, a bit teacup, you're right.
Duct tape.
Duct tape fixes everything. But
Exactly.
yeah, Jamie Buchanan in 23rd, Tom O'Farrell 24th, and Lisa Keane, the last of our runners. Oh no, she's dropped out as well. So we've lost Lisa Keane.
Oh no.
So we're down to 23 runners now, or 24 runners,
no.
I say. So that's very unfortunate indeed. But yeah, for whatever reason, she's dropped out as well. So
Dropping like flies with a fantastic grid for us as well, as we see the race leader getting round the race organizer. So I think just to very carefully pass that person. You don't want to annoy them, otherwise you
just
will.
tiptoe by. There's Simon Wilkes now stuck behind what looks to be Lee Ward. Lee Ward obviously subject to a couple controversial incidents, but yeah, obviously making his way past Lee Ward. Giving Mark a good old flash. Let's see if Mark will abide as Simon runs it way too deep there. Obviously trying to overtake into turn one, which hasn't worked out very well for him. He's going to be losing time to the driver in front and time to the driver behind as he just throws himself through now. Obviously a bit impatient because he knows that he wants this win. He doesn't just want to take the championship off of merit, off the points. He wants that win as well.
He just has to hold his head, and he will certainly be handed that championship win. Doesn't need any crazy maneuvers.
Yeah, but I think when you know you've got a chance to fight for the race win, I think you do naturally. It's just a natural instinct to do.
Yeah. The gap to Seville opening up slightly in third as well, as he meets the traffic. So that's going to be the reason trying to get round Mr. Dunn. There's contact there with the back of the
Indeed, there is.
McLaren.
As Tripp goes, Ryan Rees, her name is Tripp, but he goes around the outside of the McLaren. Yes, he does. And then to the inside, and that's the place from Alistair Pollock in the purple and blue McLaren. So Jonathan Seville is lapping something. There we go. It's Alex McGee in the Vulcan Esports Aston Martin. Ashley Coupland in fourth place. Still pretty happy. You should be still pretty happy with that result. Starting second, obviously, but yeah, at the moment it's still set to be a Simon Wilkes victory.
Indeed.
Well, at least in terms of the title, obviously Remy's still doing a great job to try and do as much as he can to take this victory.
4.5 seconds over Wilkes at the moment. More traffic to go through as well. 23 minutes remaining of the race as well. It's how long's the actual track? The track itself, it's quite a long track for them. 2.6 miles.
It's
a decent stretch for them, isn't it?
Indeed, it is. But wow, I mean, Simon's just been very, very unlucky in the traffic by the looks of it, and he's lost all that time he's gained. There's Kiki Mack. Let's see who's a driver we haven't really checked in on. Let's check on the Maserati. There he is. There he is as we come through to turn one. Rob Jackson flying up the inside. Wasn't expecting that a little bit.
It wasn't over. He managed to get it done.
Yeah, absolutely. Dive bomb-esque there, but I believe Tom will probably let the Bentley through as well. He does. So Jonathan Seville, where is he? He is still chasing. I haven't got the gap to 12 seconds still, so I think the gap is just a bit too unattainable there. Third place was definitely within possibility. Maybe 2 places more weren't, but it is unfortunate. But he's done very, very, very well to get this far. Ooh, pressed the wrong button there. Do apologise for that. So yeah, as we look towards the last 20 minutes now of the race, yeah, standout driver definitely Jonathan Seville, but we've got a few other drivers here as Peter Phillips is overtaking Kiki Mack. No, JP McKinley there. He's just getting past Jamie Buchanan nice and safely. Lisa Keane still definitely out. Jamie Buchanan in 24th. I'm looking for a little bit of a battle somewhere on the circuit. We've got Pixley chasing Anthony Brown, I believe. There we go. There's the two leaders in GT4 now. So our good friend Jake Mills, who was fighting for the title up until last round, has dropped off.
Indeed, only half a second separates Brown and Pixley, doesn't it?
Yeah, only half a second, which means he's going to go for the race win. Obviously, if you're going to take the title, you may as well take the title in style with a race win as well. But yeah, obviously he knows he doesn't need to do much more than this. He just had to keep in the race, and he's done that so far.
A pure dominant force in the Porsche. They are side by side now. Is he going to make the maneuver? No, he's fallen back again. You can see Seville in the background in the Ferrari.
Yeah, absolutely. He's definitely trying to push as hard as he can to catch the back of Simon Wilkes. It's only 8 seconds now.
Prey.
It's only 8 seconds, so something's happened to Simon Wilkes.
That's a massive, because he's dropped massively back from Papin as well. That's nearly 7 seconds, and it was holding about 3.
Papin's just gone through turn 1.
So Wilkes has
9
definitely
seconds.
made a mistake there.
That last lap was 4 seconds slower even than his
He's made a mistake at
normal
some point.
lap.
We didn't see where it was.
That means that Jonathan Seville now actually does have an opportunity to take the second place.
Quite potentially. He's got past Brown and Pixley now fairly quickly as well. So on the map, at the moment, until they reach the back of, I think, Buchanan is the next car on track that the leaders will reach. There's a big open expanse between them for him to try and open up the taps unimpeded.
Yeah.
And check down second place.
I mean, can he do it in 20 minutes? That's the big question.
Yeah, I didn't think he could get to where he was in the time he did. So
I mean,
potentially, and another couple of uncharacteristic errors from Wilkes.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's unlikely, but it's not impossible.
I mean, never say never, but I mean, unlikely is the best term to describe it, I think.
If one of us was to maybe accidentally throw a banana skin onto the track.
I mean, if Wilkes would like to drop down to maybe 12th, so we can actually possibly see a championship battle there, drop him back to the end, get a drive through now and just drop to the back of the grid. See an actual championship battle evolve there, but yeah, because if he was to get drive through now, he would probably drop as low as 10th. So he does need to be careful about his track limits. But yeah, obviously we don't wish any bad luck on any driver in the series. We're just obviously having a bit of fun here. But yeah, like I say, Remy has just checked out here now. Everything is in his hands. He's got the right car, the right weather for the car, and clear track. He's loving it. He'll be loving life.
I don't even think the weather's about to impede on the conditions either, is it?
No, I don't think so. No.
Still slightly greasy out there, but Coupland and Baldwin look like they are within fighting distance potentially by the time they get to the end of the race.
There we go. There's Happy Al just in front. You can just see him in the distance. 3 seconds off. So yeah, definitely. So actually, something's happened to Coupland then.
Baldwin's, yeah. I was looking at that for ages.
I was confused for a second as well.
So no, Baldwin did actually manage to get onto the back of Coupland and take 4th place. So Coupland, who was very high up the order in the beginning, is now just going backwards through the grid, unfortunately. So yeah, big shame for him.
Yeah, it is a big shame, but yeah, obviously some of the drivers have been very lucky. Kiki Mack still made it up to 8th from 28th on the grid. I believe. Let's double check. 27th on the grid. I beg your pardon. But yeah,
because it was Seville that was 28th, wasn't he, at the beginning?
Yeah, it was. But there's Kiki Mack now catching to the back of a lap traffic. But where's Remy? There's Remy. The next car is apparently almost over 10 seconds away, so he's not really going to be too worried about it. Simon is not too far behind. Seville's closed the gap again by a second. So that last lap he was over a second quicker than Simon. So Jonathan could still take that second place and give Simon a little bit of a scare, but obviously he is the champion I think regardless of result here today. Unfortunately, the points scoring is just not in the favour of Remy. But yeah, it's unfortunate. But obviously, racing is racing. He'll still take the win here today. And he'll be pondering, what if I didn't have to miss one round?
Indeed. Looking at Mark Raddenbury trying to get round.
Lee
battle
Ward.
yeah, indeed.
I
Certainly
believe.
trying to catch up to the back of the bumper on the exit of the last turn, and he got the Bentley bearing down on him as well. But no, Mark Raddenbury spies a place, and he's definitely trying to get around.
So yeah, interestingly, I was speaking with Mark earlier. This first section, if you get stuck behind a GT4 and those sequence of corners, that's pretty much your lap done for. I mean, I'm looking now, and I believe he's over. Yeah, he's 3.5 seconds down on his time because of it. Wilkes is 1.2 seconds down, so there's something wrong with that Aston Martin. Because Jonathan Seville is still doing almost close to personal best fast laps. There was another 38 from Simon and another 37 from Jonathan. So Jonathan's closing at a second a lap. So I was saying about how the second place may not be on the cards. It's changed.
Yeah, already counted your chickens,
changed.
and then in a couple of laps it all changed again. This is why I was keeping stum, because you can't count anything. It all changes.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible. But Jonathan Seville is probably licking his lips, going, "Oh, let's go!" He'll have Miles in his ear now, supporting him, going, "You got this." I think Ash will be there too. Ashley Coupland, there's his target in front of him. But yeah, obviously, if we can get the helicam, there we go, lovely. Let's just see if we can see any drivers around Remy. No, Remy's just got a clear track, so you can't see the nearest driver at the moment, and this is going to play into his hands.
On my map, the next driver that he will then meet is number 28, which is going to be McGough.
Callum, yeah.
McGough.
So, yeah, he's just. I don't think Callum will put up too much of a fight against his friend, but yeah, obviously Callum is in the position where if Simon finished, Remy would have the title. But unfortunately, it doesn't look likely that there's going to be enough. Oh, that looks like the Maserati spun a little bit in the background. Yeah, unfortunately, I think it may be just a little bit too far for the likes of Simon Wilkes to drop. I mean,
it's Seville and Wilkes now 5.5 seconds.
So it's another second he's taken out of him.
There's definitely there's definitely an issue for Wilkes, isn't he? He's not comfortable with the car.
He's got some sort of possibly mechanical issue, possibly a fuel issue. It could be a fuel issue.
Doesn't look overly damaged.
Doesn't look overly damaged, but obviously, looks can be deceiving sometimes. But let's just see where he loses his time. I'm looking now at the times. They're pretty much losing the same amount of time here. There's a little bit of a wide line there. That's a couple tenths. No, it's looking just like he's lost his pace. Whether he can find it and claw it back, I'm not quite sure. But yeah, at the moment, he seems to be holding the gap to Jonathan Seville now. Jonathan seems to be on a slower lap than he was last lap. We'll see.
Seville will be able to see him, though. They're on the same bit of straight now. He knows there's a car in front.
He knows there's a car in front, but the question is, can he catch him now? It's just over 10 minutes to go. Ash Coupland is catching right to the back.
I think there's potentially a battle there.
There's Happy Al, or Alistair Baldwin, sorry, just in front of Ashley Coupland. I remember them as a game of tag. It's a bad habit, I know, but yeah, so Ash Coupland just behind Alistair Baldwin now, so it could be a very interesting battle as the last 10 minutes rages on. Obviously, we keep an eye on times there. Again, Jonathan setting a faster lap than Simon that last lap, so the time has come down again, but only by 0.2 this time rather than the chunks he was taking out the laps before.
Indeed.
But here comes Remy through the lap traffic now. So Callum has overtaken Peter Phillips again. So Peter Phillips, wherever he may be, he's a couple laps ahead, I see. But yeah, there we go. Cal gets straight out the way there of his friend and teammate. That looked like a JP McKinley.
In the foreground.
That was a JP McKinley.
Oh, in the background. Oh, right.
That looked like a JP McKinley spun on the
Oh dear.
outside of the
we
corner.
caught one.
But yeah. But yeah, that's mighty unfortunate. But yeah, we caught him on stream. But yeah, it's unfortunate for him. He's sat in 14th now. Cal's overtaken him again. But obviously on the lead lap we have, I believe Peter Phillips may be the last driver on the lead lap here. In fact, no, he's now a lap down. So Remy is gonna set lap 30, I believe. There's lap 30, so that ticks to lap 30. I believe the next driver in front is Stephen Carey, who's just far enough ahead, I think, to not be lapped. Kiki Mack hasn't been lapped just yet, but it looks likely that he will get lapped at some point. Let's see how Jonathan Seville, massively down. What happened to Jonathan Seville?
I think he ran wide at the sort of the complex of corners before you hit the main straight, and possibly may even spun, but that cost him a massive amount of time.
Absolutely,
didn't it?
I think we jinxed him a bit too much. Commentator's curse has struck again.
It's a testament to how hard he was actually.
Oh,
pushing.
absolutely! It's a testament to how great of a driver and how hard he pushed to try and catch.
And then he just
the back of Simon Wilkes
at one point.
But he's gonna immediately just start pushing again. He needs to. He knows he needs to push. Whereas Simon Wilkes, you can't even see him on the map on the back of the screen. That's a lot of drivers he's now also got to overtake. He's got 1, 2, 3 there, at least 3 GT3s there, and a whole handful of others. So as he comes round the Aston Martin, a little bit dicey, but it's clean.
He made it.
Glowing, beautifully glowing side pipes there. Simon Wilkes. It's interesting that the GTR's exits are so much further back than the Aston Martins. The Aston Martins literally come out of the rear of the front arch. I suppose it's an interesting strat call that they have in GT racing, because they don't actually have to put the exhaust out of the rear like they have with the Ferrari. Pretty sure the Bentley has rear side mounts, but at the end. Obviously the Astons at the front. We've got a lot of Astons. It
sounds good down the track, I know that.
Oh no, it absolutely does sound good down the track. But yeah, obviously the Lexus also side mounts at the rear. I think this is the Porsche with the twin exit at the rear. Yeah, it is. So yeah, Porsche's is very interesting. You've got that giant baffle box such at the back that causes that massive crackle on the downshifts. Obviously the flat six also helping create a hell of a noise.
Oh yes.
But, yeah, absolutely. Obviously, beautiful engine, I'd say, but certainly by no means my favourite. I think McLarens aren't too bad. Rear exit, I think, again. Yeah, it's interesting that how they do it in GT racing, because obviously there is no restriction on how you exit your exhaust.
So interesting stuff. Brown and Pixley, I think. Well, if you look at there's not actually close racing at the moment. Everyone's sort of spread out in their own little gaps. Brown is leading for the GT4s over Pixley by 2.5 seconds. It was quite disappointed. There was, I think, a good little battle heating up between Raddenbury and Ward, but that's been diffused by.
We've got Amin Draghi in the pits.
He was, yes. It has not been comfortable the entire race, really. You can see him.
A Porsche in the wet, I don't think is the best, but yeah.
No, making little trips off the circuit. I mean, Phillips has been doing okay in 9th place, as well. And then you've got the other GT4 Porsche chassis as well. But yeah, they're not comfortable in these conditions, unfortunately. And that's brought him down to 17th after his little excursion. Baldwin and Coupland, I think, the nearest battle with just over half a second between the two. But Papin lap 32 with just under 7 minutes to go is really sort of doing everything right at the moment.
There's very little that could go wrong, really. I mean, he looks pretty comfortable. Simon Wilkes is now within the traffic, which means Jonathan Seville will be catching him again at a rate of knots. I mean, Jonathan is only just under a second slower than his fastest lap. By contrast, Simon Wilkes is 3 seconds slower than his fastest lap. So Jonathan it probably will appear in the background. There he is. So all that traffic is going to eat into the time that Simon had on his Ferrari counterpart.
Indeed he will. Back to 7.5 seconds, roughly.
Which is a pretty good time. I mean, he's definitely eating into that time even more, but how is he going to manage the traffic is the big question. Sparks fly from the back of the Aston there.
Yes, because once Wilkes gets through it, Seville's just going to meet the back of it, isn't he?
Yeah, I believe there he is in the Ferrari just in the background there. So, obviously, the first couple shouldn't be too difficult. I think he should get past them before the first sequence of corners. But, yeah, by contrast, again, another lap that's over 3 seconds quicker. But there we go immediately. Where's Simon Wilkes again? Is he through? No, he's got one more, which is JP McKinley. Will JP put too much of a fight up? That's the question. Obviously,
he is going to be lapped, isn't he?
He is going to be lapped. The blue flags are an advisory in GT racing, so so long as he holds his line, he's not actually breaking any rules. Obviously, Simon will be a bit more agitated and try and find a way around, but it could cost him his race position. It's Jonathan Seville. At the moment, they're going like for like on pace. I'm just watching the times now. Yeah, there we go. Well, Anna just gets straight out of the way in his traditional Ferrari fashion. Yeah, my shades of Sebastian Vettel at Ferrari, that. But yeah, there's Simon Wilkes just in the foreground. Jonathan Seville in the background. So Simon is now trying to push as hard as he can to make sure he gets past these drivers. But hopefully, we might have a nice little battle in the last couple minutes. How is Ashley Coupland doing with Alistair Baldwin? There they are. And Rob Jackson's caught up to them as well. So we've got a freeway battle for the best of the non-podiums. So it could be very, very interesting. Callum McGough looks like he's fighting somebody. Still fighting Alistair Pollock. So Ali Pollock has pulled some pace from somewhere and is actually fighting Callum McGough.
So they're all going to be, yeah, with the last few minutes, everyone's sort of woken up a bit, started to push the gaps closed.
Indeed.
As much as they can.
Once again, Jonathan Seville, even though in the traffic, was still faster than Simon Wilkes by half a second. Almost a full second even, sorry. So once again, he's back to the gap that he originally was. So Simon being impatient in the traffic has not paid him dividends at all. That's, in fact, I believe, the Callum McGough and Alistair Pollock battle in front. There's two McLarens, and there's the only two McLaren GT3s on the circuit. So it will be that battle. So once again, he's now going to have to fight through battling GT traffic again.
He is indeed. Just keeping a little eye on the Baldwin, Coupland, Jackson race. They did bunch up a little bit. They spread out slightly. And Seville just getting his gap nearly just under 5 seconds on Wilkes. But that's going to be difficult, I think, in 3 minutes to go.
I mean, difficult but not impossible. Let's see how it pans out. You know, Jonathan Seville is a hell of a driver. He wouldn't be, obviously, he wouldn't have been given the opportunity to partake in something like the Singapore World Cup without it. But yeah, obviously Remy definitely making his way through now. I mean, in theory, unless he has a huge crash now, you know, 2 laps to go, I can't see him.
Knock on wood.
Knock on wood, yeah. Obviously, the title will still go the way of Simon Wilkes, but will Simon take the silver or the bronze in this race? So that's the big question. There is the Ferrari flying in the background now. Let's see how the laps compare.
Wilkes with traffic to contend
Still
with.
massively faster. Once again, Simon's now in the traffic again. Jonathan seems to be negating the traffic even better than Simon can. So we'll wait and see how this pans out. Whether JP will know that he's catching and obviously let him go so that they can see this battle happen. We'll get to find out.
So Wilkes actually with 3 cars in front of him to try and get round. 4 cars.
So
Who is that? That was a McLaren spinning off
that
on
looked
my
like
screen,
Alistair
not your
Pollock.
one.
No, it's Callum McGough. It'd be
It
Callum.
wasn't that one. It was the
That
other
one.
McLaren. Yes, it was.
Callum.
It was
Oh
McGough, sorry. Yes,
no,
it
big off.
is.
Callum
That's
pulling off to the side. I think that's it for him.
That's an unhappy McLaren.
I think, plowing the grass had just a bit too much there, unfortunately. There we go, he's jumped to the pits, so that's his race done, I'm afraid. Simon Wilkes, there he is. Where's Jonathan Seville? He's behind
3.7 seconds behind.
He's still behind Kiki Mack, though, which is the notable thing. Jake Mills is caught to the back of Mr. Pixley, so that'll be very, very interesting in a minute to see where they are. Final lap now, so as we look towards Remy Papin, who is, I think, got a clear track in front of him now. He's past Tom O'Farrell, so I don't know where the next car in front of him is. I think I can hear it in the distance, but there we go. Ooh, big slide there, but holds it nicely. He knows that he's got time to burn. 3 seconds now between Seville and Simon. There he goes. Yeah. Can he make it through? I don't think he can now.
He's got GT3 and GT4 traffic in front of him.
He's gone around the outside of Jake Mills.
Made it work.
He made it work. The question is, can he get past?
Gone wide as well.
Where is Simon Wilkes? Where is
I think Wilkes is okay because he's got no traffic in front of him.
Yeah, there's no traffic now.
Seville's caught up in a massive amount of traffic.
I think that's curtains for him. But obviously we've been sort of ignoring him because he's had quite a quiet race from this point on.
Yes.
But there we go. There's our race leader. He has overtaken. He's overtaken 8th place. So he's lapped over 20 drivers in this race.
Wow.
Well, obviously we've had a few retirements as well, but for the most part, almost 20 drivers this race he's lapped. He's not going to get a driver at the end there with a little bit of an excursion, but it looks like he's coming on to the final few corners here. It is indeed the final few corners here. So as he comes through into the final left-hander for the final time this season, it looks set to be Fubar, Remy Papin, to take the checkered flag and overtake his teammate as well. There we go. So final lap. There we go. A beautiful 360. Can't hold it. Smacks the wall, but it's okay. Where's Simon Wilkes? That's a big question. Where is he? He is going to take the silver medal and the championship. Our championship winner by a substantial amount of points, I believe. I believe 14 points the difference. But it is going to be Simon Wilkes second place and the championship.
Well done to him.
So let's find this GT4 battle really quickly before we lose it. Anthony Brown, where are you? Where are you?
Just on the main straight.
Oh, I think we're going to miss it.
They are coming across. They're coming across the line now.
Anthony Brown comes across. Jake Mills and Richard Pixley within 1.5 seconds of each other.
Yeah,
that would have been a photo
Pixley, you see the gap, 0.0. He had the pace on the straight, but didn't get past him just in time. So Pixley, 0.035 a second gap in the end.
There's Happy Hour. Where's Ash Coupland? Because Ash Coupland's lost the position to Rob Jackson. So Rob Jackson's actually dropped a position in the end. Gained a position in the end to Ashley Coupland. Alistair Baldwin looks set to take 4th place. Rob Jackson 5th and Ashley Coupland 6th. But Ryan Reese in 10th. So obviously not enough to take the title to this season. But obviously still not a bad effort by him by any means. So I believe it's Colin Dunn is the last driver out on circuit that hasn't finished his lap. Ryan Reese as well, obviously, we've got somewhere. Colin Dunn's come across the line, so Ryan Reese is coming across the line now. I believe that is everyone to finish the race. But
indeed, that is it, isn't it? That is the final round of the Positive Perception GT Championship, and the champion, if you will, Mr. Bent.
Well, quite clearly, obviously, our championship winner with a staggering 14-point gap is Simon Wilkes. Obviously, congratulations to him. So as we wait for we'll get the GT3 drivers in a moment just to come talk to us and see just how they found it. Yeah, obviously, before we get them in, driver of the day for you.
Driver of the day, I think Seville.
Yeah, I agree.
He's a good driver. We already knew how good he was, but yeah, from the back to the podium is cannot be ignored, really.
Ooh, one moment, sorry, we've accidentally muted you. There we go. But
How
no,
dare you?
it's all good. You're straight back. But yeah, so yeah, great racing by everybody today. Obviously, Anthony Brown taking the win, Richie Pixley taking the GT4 title from Jake Mills. Obviously, yeah, Remy just really unfortunate to miss that one round has cost him obviously the title.
Hmm.
But yeah, as we'll wait for the 3 GT3 drivers and hopefully our GT4 drivers as well.
Hopefully, whoever we can get first. Why do we just drag them? Just drag them across. This is what I've noticed. Everyone just goes off and celebrates in their own pace. It's like, no, we want to talk to you chaps.
Ooh, Simon, that's who we're waiting. We need as well. There we go. I've pinged them now, so they shall be summoned. But yeah, I think driver of the day. You're completely right in saying our championship. Well, he would have probably been the championship winner had he turned up. But so obviously, yeah, I think Jonathan Seville, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the best drivers for today. But
Indeed, very good.
I definitely wouldn't take it away from Remy at all for that outstanding drive from lights to flag. Absolutely outstanding to keep the lead and keep composure.
Now he had to deal with a few little traffic incidents, but kept his cool. We have some of them popped into the interview room, haven't they? Should we drop down and speak to our?
We'll bring them up, I think, maybe, or should
Bring
we
them
drop
up?
down? Yeah, we'll bring them up. Let's bring all three up. Good evening, gentlemen.
Who wants to speak first?
I think I think they might be pushed to talk. I think we might have to go back down to the interview room.
Okay, fine. Let's do that. I think there was a reason.
I think there was a reason why he said that, but yeah, we'll head down there now. Right, let's try that again. Good evening, gentlemen.
Hello.
Hello there.
No.
Definitely didn't make a mistake there. How are we?
How have you all enjoyed this evening's race?
Interesting.
Indeed. We'll start with you, Jonathan. So, yeah, last to first almost happened.
Yeah. Give it my best shot.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think I would have been a bit closer, but I did have a spin towards the end, which ruined it. So yeah, I couldn't quite close in towards the end. Yeah. I think Papan was a bit further ahead than Simon.
Indeed.
So I don't think I would have got him.
But no, absolutely outstanding drive. Yeah, how have you enjoyed the series?
Yeah, it's been good fun. Yeah, it was a bit tricky tonight because I haven't been able to practice much for it, and then it's to go greasy all the way through, and yeah, my car was a right handful all the way through. So yeah, a bit of a challenge tonight. And I had a moment, and my wheel decided to uncalibrate itself, so I was driving for half the race with a wheel at 45 degrees.
Oh boy, that does not sound fun. But outstanding work to take that podium. But
yeah, thank you.
So we'll move next to our race winner, Remy Papin. How are you?
Really fine, really good, really happy.
Yeah. Obviously a great drive from you today. Pretty much controlled it from the moment you took the lead. Didn't look like there was any doubt of you taking the win. But yeah, obviously, how did you find it? How's the traffic?
It was really interesting because I think we had the same pace with Wilkes, but yeah, because of the traffic, I managed to catch up and pass him. Yeah, I tried to be more careful this time because I had a lot of penalties, and I think it worked pretty well, to be honest. And I think I had a little bit of luck as well.
Indeed.
So yeah, everything perfect tonight.
Yeah. Obviously, it's really unfortunate that you've missed one round because otherwise we'd have probably had a great title fight right at the end here. But yeah, obviously, will you come back to potentially take the crown off of Simon?
Yeah, for sure,
Awesome.
for sure. I will be there.
And now we'll head to our championship winner. Well, provisional, obviously, pending any penalties, but I'm pretty sure he kept his nose clean throughout the race. So we'll head to second place and our championship winner, Simon Wilkes. How are you feeling?
could be better. I made my life a little bit more difficult this race.
Yeah, I mean, I think you did a great job still. Obviously, you pretty much controlled qualifying like you normally do. Obviously, a few mistakes in the race, but yeah, what's your take on this series and your experiences here?
It's a difficult one to answer, really. I think there's a wide variety of skill levels in the grid, which is good. A lot of people learning their way still, and then you get like super fast guys like Jonathan. So yeah, it's interesting.
Indeed. So, will you come back next year to defend your crown, or next time even? Sorry.
Potentially, yeah.
That's very good to hear. But yeah, like I say, congratulations to all three of you. Obviously, congratulations to Simon, GT3 Championship winner.
Thank you.
So, just one. Anything you want to ask, McRae?
No, I think no. Just a congratulations to everyone for all the GT3 runners for taking part, and big well done to who's here for finishing where you did, and congratulations on the championship to Simon Wilkes. And yeah, good to see you for the next season.
All right. Thanks for the live, guys. See you. Bye bye.
See you, buddy. Bye.
Cheers. Bye.
So I did see we had one of
Indeed,
the GT4's gentlemen joining us.
Hopefully I've summoned the other two. But yeah, we'll start with Jake then, third place and I believe second place in the standings. How you feeling, buddy?
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, I'm not too happy, if I'm honest.
No?
We'll come back to you in a moment. Obviously, but just one moment.
One moment.
Oh, sorry, Jake. Yeah, I thought it was Richard talking, but go for it.
Oh, you should know what I sound like by now. Come on.
Wow.
Oh, first pole, I was well happy with that, even though I left a bit more on the table. But then in the race, I felt like I had things. I mean, the two of them behind me seemed quite quick, but I thought I sort of had things under control. And then, yeah, went wide after being flashed in a couple of braking zones, which I don't really agree with too much, but there we go.
Absolutely, obviously.
I guess they need to do what they can.
Yeah.
But yeah, then after that, I was trying to stay on the back of them. I had a GT3 coming past to my left down the main straight. Then I heard clear left, so I moved over to take the race in line. But then another one was trying to follow him through, and I pivoted myself into the wall on the front of his car.
That's very unfortunate.
Had 15 seconds of damage for the rest of the race. Caught back up to the two of them a little bit. I could see they were squabbling at the end. And I just couldn't quite get there because we got swamped by GT3s in the last 2 laps.
Indeed.
So yeah, first time I start in first and I don't finish there. So yeah,
it's very unfortunate for you, buddy. I think drove a great race today still though, and hopefully will you come back next time round and try and take that GT4 crown? Yeah,
hopefully. Cheers, guys.
No worries. We'll move up to Ant Brown. And sorry, would you like to say something, McRae?
No, just saying thank you for taking.
No worries. Yeah, so we'll move up to Ant now, our race winner. Only just though. How was that?
That was backside knit and bed socks. That was an incredible race, and another lap. If those GT3s weren't there, yeah, it would have been Richard's race totally. So sorry, I'm just watching the replay now at the start, and that was a bit hair raising as well.
Indeed. But yeah, so how was your experience this season? Obviously, being a multi-class, being mixed ability, how was your experience?
I thought it was great, to be honest. It's league racing at its best because everyone can get involved, and I like seeing the participation go up. And we've all started back before. I mean, I started sim racing about a year ago, and I was always pootling around the back, just trying to keep my nose clean, but probably causing more trouble than it's worth. But you just persevere, and I think leagues like this they build the community. So
absolutely,
you just enjoy the race. If you want to be super competitive, sign up for a paid for league.
Indeed. I mean, the big question is, will you come back next time?
Of course.
Absolutely. That's good. That's what we like to hear. Thank you very much. As always, pleasure.
Thank you.
wish you all the best, and yeah, congratulations on the win.
Cheers.
No worries. And now we come to our second place driver and the championship winner for GT4, Richard Pixley. How are you?
Stressed, I think is probably the word.
um,
I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
Through that was a good race, but I'm slightly disappointed. Plenty of opportunities to, in my opinion, get ahead and pull away, but not taking it at the right time and just getting mixed with the GT3s and just having just a few lots of mistakes, but in the mixed conditions, it was great race. Between Mark and Jake, just a great race.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, how do you feel about being the championship winner?
I'll not say yet. We'll see after the stewards, but for now, I'll take it. It's been great.
But yeah, obviously, will you come back next year? And obviously, you're still a championship elect. I'm sure there won't be too much in the way of penalties coming your way. So yeah, will you come back and try and defend your crown next time?
I may defend it. I may go into chief it. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what the community brings out.
Absolutely. Well, pleasure as always. Congratulations. Very, very good race by you three today. Great battle for quite a while. So yeah, hopefully we'll see you again soon.
It was really fun. Yeah, the battle was, even driving around in third. If I come third, it was such a good race. Yeah. I really enjoyed it.
Absolutely.
It's a shame that there were issues, and I was just watching the replay actually, and I'm very sorry for the nudge on the first turn, Richard.
Oh, don't worry about it. It was,
it was pretty much carnage.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think absolutely. I think the ability is coming, just getting better and better every race, and I think the next season, same drivers again. I think we'll see some great racing. So yeah. But pleasure as always, both of you. I wish you all the best, and hopefully we'll see you again in the next season.
Cheers very much.
No worries. Thank you very much. Now, sorry.
Sorry. Just like to say thank you, Matt, for the organising on the rest of the admins. Thank you to the commentary and the live streams, and congrats, and well done, Jake, and everyone else in GT3 and GT4. Well done. Great season.
Great way to round that off. But yeah, now we'll come to our favourite time of the evening, as we get to talk to the debrief Mark Raddenbury. How are you, sir?
Sweaty. I made a mistake of wearing a mid layer, and I have got so hot. I don't know if you guys caught it on stream, but myself and Lee Ward are having a battle, and partway through that battle, I was stripping off down the back straight.
Yeah. I did try and catch a little bit of that. It got unfortunately a little bit diffused, I think, from the GT3s, but it was a good battle being set up.
It was fantastic. I mean, Lee's one of my teammates in real life for RC racing, so it's fantastic to race against him. And kudos for him for making the move and making it stick. My brakes were absolutely shot. I'd overheated them early on in the race, and they just never came back to life.
Wow. But yeah, I mean, it looked like a good race from our position. Just a shame I didn't get involved. But yeah, hopefully. So, will we see a second season, or is this the same?
You know we will. You know we will.
Absolutely.
There's the guys from tonight. They've all got a nice form to fill out, which is basically just a feedback form. Yeah. But it'll give us a good idea for next season. And yeah, there definitely 100% will be a next season.
That's awesome to hear. Will we see you in the BMW again? That's the big question.
Potentially. I don't know. It depends if I'm going to do GT3.
I mean, there's still a very big BMW in GT3, so...
There is. It hardly got used. Mr. Neuterlings, he let me down. I painted that beautiful BMW to match the GT4 BMW. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that is unfortunate, but like I say, still an absolute pleasure to be a part of this series. I think you've done a great job with it, and yeah, like I say, I can't wait to come back and see the next season for it.
Just want to thank you guys, especially in the comms box, you and McRae, especially Toby as well, who can't be here tonight. Gutted that he wasn't here as well. Would have been a trifecta in the comms box. just thank you to the
issue at that point.
Oh, it would have been. Just thank you to the VRCC for allowing us to do this event under their name and on their YouTube. It's just been an absolute blast. I've loved every single gut-wrenching minute of it, even right down to the blue flag rule.
I don't think we'll go into too much detail, otherwise we might be here for another half an hour on the stream. But yeah, I think blue flags have been the pivotal point of the series, and I think if we throw that away for one moment and we forget about the blue flags and all the situations they've caused and drama, it's been an amazing series. And from the start, everybody was interested. We've had grids of no less than 25 every time round as well, which has been incredible.
That has been just fantastic. Having a massive grid, it's made the racing just what it is as well.
Indeed. But yeah, I mean, standout driver of the season for you, Mark. Who would that go to?
Oh, okay. For GT3, I'm going to say Seville, purely for this last round. Literally coming into qualifying with, I think we had 1 minute left on the clock for GT4s, and he arrived.
Close, yes.
He nearly missed the cutoff. So to come from the back to the front, unbelievable. I honestly didn't even see him go past me.
I mean, he had passed pretty much. He had pretty much passed everybody by the end of.
It was incredible. I couldn't believe it when I had the GT3s lapping me, and I saw Remy and Simon came past, and I was like, Johnny, what? Absolutely incredible. And for me, for GT4s, it's going to be Jake.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic performance to come as far up the grid as he has, and he missed a round.
Yeah, absolutely. He missed a round until almost take the title.
Fantastic racing.
But yeah, absolutely. I think standout drives from pretty much everybody this season. I think everybody's throughout the season. You can see the gaps just closing in the pack. I mean, Amin getting up to, I believe it was 6th in qualifying. A driver that we've seen at the back of the grid for most races. For him to come up to 6th out of nowhere was pretty good. I'd say pretty impressive.
Incredible, yeah.
So obviously we're going to round out the stream close to here, but once again, a pleasure as always, Mark.
No, thank you. Thank you to everyone who's watched. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in. Find positive perception on all the social medias and get involved.
Absolutely. I think that's the best. I think that's the most important thing. Get involved, guys. This sort of racing is for everybody, and I think you've always said that, Mark.
It is, yeah. It's from the guys who have just picked up sim racing, right through to the guys with the full-blown Fanatec rigs and VR headsets and all that. It really is. We are a very mixed community here. We are very much a driver-focused community, and of course, we're very much a custom livery sort of place.
Absolutely. Obviously, yeah. If you want an amazing livery, absolutely hit up Mark Raddenbury. Brilliant designer, always takes best care of his customers as well. So yeah,
absolutely.
With that, we're going to round out the stream. Any last thoughts, McRae?
No, apart from the fact that it's been an honor to be involved and to be part of the commentating community and part of this racing community once again, despite my spotty attendance maybe. But yeah, definitely looking forward to future races and opportunities with you chaps in the future.
Absolutely. So once again, from all of us here at Positive Perception, VRCC, and just about every other place on the earth, thank you very much for watching, and we hope to see you soon for another series of this amazing league.